So what was it like when you were younger?
Well, we weren't very rich and hadn't got a lot of toys or anything like that, but we used to make games up between ourselves when we wasn't fighting.
What sort of games did you make?
Well, we used to play ball games. We got a tennis ball, we used to play with that. And I'd got a big teddy bear. We used to play with that. And we got a Ludo board. We used to play Ludo. That's about all we got, really.
So was it nice having lots of siblings?
Well, not that good.
Why wasn't it good?
Well, because most of them were lads. There was my sister Vera, Sheila, and me. We were there. And Elsie and Joan, who were a lot older than us. So they didn't play with us because they were older. Two of them worked at the laundry, Mum, Peter's mum, and my older sister, them two. And then there was me and Sheila, who was a year younger than me, and Vera, who was 4 years older than me. But she wasn't really amongst the young ones then. There was just me and Sheila and my brother, John. He was one of the youngest ones. So we used to play with them. But the older ones used to play tricks on us and look about, and destroy your toys if they could.
Did you just live with your siblings and your parents, or was there anyone else?
No. I went to live with an aunt in Blackpool for about 3 months. I didn't like it there. I didn't like them too old, so I asked my mum if I could come back, and she said I could, so I came back. That's the only time I was ever away from home, really.
Is there any darkness down there?
So do you remember one of your best friends?
There was 2 girls from across the road that I used to play with, but there was several other girls that we used to go to school with. We used to go to school at the top of the street, Wilmot Street. It was called Christchurch School. It was a religious school, and we used to go there. And I made friends with this girl, and then she made friends with some other girls that were really horrible people. And they started trying to fight, so I was fighting with this other girl, and I got her and I pulled all her hair out of her head, and it was all floating down the street. And my mother hit me for pulling her hair out. And she wanted to fight, so she got to fight, didn't she?
So were you religious if you went to a religious school?
No, it was my mother that was religious. My dad wasn't. They used to call it Bible thumping. We weren't there. She was religious though.
So what was it like when the Germans shot the house during the war?
Nice. We was up in my bedroom one day, and this airplane was coming over, and I suddenly saw him go like, push his thing over like that, and aim it at us. So, and my brother come dashing, he said, get out the way, get out the way. And he shot all the window out. If we hadn't shifted, he would have shot us all. Shattered the window. But my brother said, there's a bloody German plane, get out the way.
Was that scary?
Well, it was scary because we thought it was one of our aeroplanes till it turned around like that. I saw him do that, bring this thing round. And I didn't know what it was, but my brother did. And he said, "Get down on the bloody floor."
Did you have any other experiences like that during the war?
No, they bombed the street next to us.
So did you used to get in trouble?
No. My brothers used to. They used to go pinching out of shops and stuff. It was terrible, he was. He ended up in prison, he did.
How old was he when he ended up in prison?
How old would he be? About 18. He used to pinch a lot of stuff anyway. Before, he used to go around Woolworths nicking stuff and all sorts of things like that. So he never stopped doing it. It was just till he went into prison. He didn't stop then. When he come out, he still did it.
So how old were you when you got your first job?
14.
14. What was that job?
I was, first of all, I went into this little shop, Star Tea Company on Normanton Road. And I'd stay there for a bit, but I didn't like it because it was filling sugar bags down this dirty, dingy cellar, so I didn't like that. And I went to this China Works, and I had an interview there, and I got a job there, painting the china, gilded it. It was quite a good job, that was. They had the teachers how to do it in the first place, but we got quite good at it anyway, so. And I stayed there most of my life, really.
So what was your favourite what was your favourite hobby when you were in your 20s?
Reading.
What type of books? Like action, romance, what?
Oh, no, I like murders. Murders.
So like
Murder books.
action, horror kind of thing?
No, I didn't used to like that.
So when you were younger, were you allowed to go out and go to the shops and stuff by yourself?
When I was at work, I used to do. Yeah, I used to go.
But when you were like around, I don't know, 10 years old,
Oh,
were you
no.
allowed to?
No. We used to go and fetch an ice cream now and again when we pinched some money off my dad. But that was all. But you only had to go across the road and down this little slip and round the corner, and there was the shops were there, so we didn't have to go far at all for ice cream or sweets. So we used to go and buy ourselves some sweets with the money that we all pinched off my father.
How did you get hold of this money?
We used to make him walk on his hands, and and money fell out of his pockets.
Didn't he suspect anything?
Well, if he did, he never said anything, but if we asked him sometimes, he'd give us the money anyway, generally when he was drunk.
Did he go to the pub often?
Well, yes, I'm afraid so. Most Sundays he used to go, and he was at work all the week. He was at work on Saturdays as well, so he only had Sundays. But then my mother used to make us fetch him out of the pub for his dinner, just to go and find your father. But I always knew where my dad was because he played the piano, and I knew his playing. He was very good on the piano, but he was never taught. He just played.
Wow.
So I used to find out which pub he was in by listening to the piano. There he was, with bright lines of beer on the top of the piano. Well, they'd all bought him. I would have got pretty drunk.
Did you ever learn to play any instrument?
No, my dad used to get me to tinkle on it a bit, but I wasn't. My sister was very good.
So what happened when you caught your father lighting a match outside the house?
That was in the war, that was. They got smoke screens all up the street. And my dad went up to one and says, "Have you got a light, mate, for me fag?" It was one of these smoke things. He was that drunk he thought it was some bloody bloke. Stood there waiting to light his fag.
So, what was it like being in a big family and not having many people to like play with?
Well, I used to play with my sister and I played with my younger brother. We used to go out and play rounders in the street, because you could then, because there was no cars coming up and down. Only horses and carts and the bread man and the milkman. There weren't very many cars about, or the buses. There used to be trams, didn't there, in those days? But they were all on the main road, they never come up the streets. So we used to play ball on. There was like a line of blue bricks across every house, right near the bottom. And we used to throw to that, and it used to bounce back. And we used to play like that. Played.
So how big was your house?
It was quite big. There was a front room, what they call a sitting room, and a dining room, and then a kitchen. That was downstairs. And upstairs was two normal sized bedrooms, one huge bedroom, and then another a bit smaller than the very big one, and a bathroom.
Oh, so that's quite big, isn't it?
Oh, it's got 2 attic bedrooms as well. Up some stairs and wooden stairs, and there was 2 big rooms, one big room and then another one after that.
Did you share a room with anyone?
Yes, my brother slept at the far end of this big one, and me and my sister slept at the furthest end. There was 3 of us in that. My mum and my dad were in that one next to it, and then there was 2 older brothers that occupied the front bedroom, and the other front bedroom one of my sisters had, because the others were married and left home by then.